Morning Kokoda competitors, my name is Jason. I'm the store manager of Anaconda at West Burleigh on the Gold Coast. Anaconda is extremely proud to have partnered with Kokoda Youth Foundation as part of the Kokoda Challenge as a gear partner. We're here today to answer some of your frequently asked questions from previous years. I personally have been involved with the challenge since 2015 in the 96-kilometre event on the Gold Coast and a couple of the Brisbane ones. The first question we're going to talk about today is shoes, because we get asked a lot about that. In the background you can see here we have hiking boots. We also have hiking shoes over here, which is basically the same sole as a hiking boot, but just the shoe. We also have trail runners. What should you wear? It's a little bit of personal preference. You need to come in and have things tried on. If you've done a lot of running in the past, you can get away with trail shoes or the small hiking shoes that we had there. If you're not used to ankle support, it'll feel a little bit unusual, that sort of thing. The main question we get though is, can I wear my Nike runners on this event? No, you can't. The hills are way too steep. You'll have no grip whatsoever. They might feel good, but you won't be able to climb anything. Kokoda Challenge has a mandatory gear list, guys, that is quite extensive and is all about your safety and making sure you get through the event properly. Pack size, very important. You don't need to have a massive day pack. Anything between say 12 and 15 litres is good enough, because all you need to carry your gear for is from one support crew checkpoint to the next one. You don't need to carry your stuff for the entire event. So a 12 to 15 litre pack will get you through, preferably one with a bladder that's inside it already, 2 litres of water, and then you can add on top of that all your mandatory gear, any food you're taking through, any Gatorades or powdered liquids, foods, etc. that you're rolling with. We have several brands across here, from Mountain Designs, Denali, Caribbean as well, that all will suit the needs for the event. All right, headlamps, my personal favourite piece of gear and probably one of the most important. Doing the 48 or the 96 Gold Coast, you're going to be spending, if you're a walking team, possibly the whole night out there, 10 to 12 hours. And there's a very much difference between brands and types of headlamps and what they do. If a walking team, you're going to need at least 200 lumens. If you're a running team, probably about 250, but maybe a little bit more than that. 200 and 250 would be the minimum I would go for. Depending on what you want to spend on this, we have multiple brands again. Black Diamond, Lead Lenser. The Black Diamond, you'll be replacing your batteries every 4 or so hours. You can get up to 400 lumens out of those guys, which is pretty good, but no one really wants to be changing batteries through the night. So we have some Lead Lenser options that have rechargeable batteries. The Lead Lenser MH10 is an example. I use that myself. It has 16 hours of battery life at 200 lumens, which will get any competitor through the entire 39 hours if you need that. Hiking poles. They're quite an extensive range here across all price points, starting with our Denali, moving into our Mountain Designs and into our Lecky poles at the end there. A lot of people ask, do they need them? If you've never been out on your feet before for 24 hours, you absolutely will. The hills of Kokoda will give you almost 5 kilometres of elevation uphill, but it's the downhill that really hurts. All of our poles are adjustable in length because you need different lengths to go uphill and different to go downhill, as you can imagine. One tip I would give is, once you decide if you're using poles or not, and you are, don't necessarily train with them for every session. You want those leg muscles to grow. You've got plenty of time before July kicks around for the Gold Coast one, and every time you're using the poles, which will give you a 35% efficiency in getting up the hill, it won't make you faster, let your muscles work 35% less and just transfer the energy you're using into the upper body, which is great, but you want to make sure those leg muscles are as good as they can be before going into July. So once you know how to use them properly, and there's plenty of YouTube videos out there to show you all different techniques, work out which is the best one for you as far as that goes, but don't use them for every training session, because you want to make sure those leg muscles are exactly where they need to be in July, and that the hiking poles are really just a bit of a help to get you through there. Or if you get really sore as the event goes on, which you will, because no one's doing 24-hour training hikes, you've got them as a backup. Even if you leave them with your support crew, if you don't feel you need them, that's up to you. All right, let's talk about layers and let's talk about clothing. Every year I've been involved with the event, one of two things happens. It either doesn't rain, which is great. Unfortunately, your temperature's usually around 0 degrees during the night, or it pours with rain and it's a little bit of an uncomfortable experience. Here we're standing at the thermal wall in Anaconda. We recommend thermal tops for walking teams. It just takes the coldness out. It's a great base layer under your Kokoda Challenge shirt or your team shirt. On top of that, you can add your raincoat. These are very, very thin. You can get raincoats that are very breathable over there. We have price points in all of this stuff too. It's not all expensive stuff. There are brands that we do, they're a little bit less in quality, but therefore a little bit less in price. And we do some premium stuff too to keep you as warm as absolutely possible. We also do ranges of beanies and gloves, which we recommend. And the support crew as well. Don't forget about those guys standing in those cold temperatures. There's no place colder in the world than Calagra Bar at 3 o'clock in the morning in the mid-July on the Gold Coast. All right, let's talk about socks, my second most favorite and second most important gear behind that headlamp. Here I've got a couple of examples for you because we don't want blisters. Blisters is the main reason why competitors pull out of the event. On this side I've got some merino trekking socks, absolutely amazing for taking the water away from sweat. We recommend those highly. We also have the Injinji toe socks here, which if you're not used to them, they're a little bit weird to start with, but each toe has its own little thing, back like when you're about 4 years old. I've run in the Injinji for probably the last 8 or 9 years exclusively. They work amazingly for my feet. We have a great range of them here. We have the merino as well. There's a lot of water crossings, particularly in the 96K. There's 8 of them in a row just before the halfway point. And if you're going to be changing socks and doing things, that's around the point where you want to have a look at that sort of thing. Some people don't change their socks at all for the event. They run through the creeks. Other people will not run through the creeks, and they'll change their socks in and around each checkpoint, depending on how you feel. If you change them every checkpoint, it gives you an opportunity to have a look at what your feet are doing, make sure any blisters you're dealing with. Again, a recommendation up to you. Work out what you're doing with your training. Change your socks if you want to during that to see how it goes. It does take a bit of time to do that sort of stuff, so you're starting to add a little bit of time to your event, but sometimes that extra few minutes at a checkpoint can make all the difference with finishing the event or not. And of course, being the gear sponsor, we're going to be there in the event as well. So we're going to be taking part. We have several teams lined up to go through the Sunshine Coast, Brisbane and Gold Coast versions. So you'll see us out there, but hopefully we'll see you in here before that. Good luck, guys.